Welcome back. In today's video, I'm doing a craft room organization. I don't show my craft room much, so I thought it would be fun to show it as I cleaned and organized. I have a lot of stuff just sitting out and need to get that organized. I'm going to go through all of my vinyl rolls and I'll show how I store my craft supplies with some tips along the way that have really helped me. I started all of this because I wanted to make my Cricut Venture fit in my craft room. I decided to clear space and see if it would fit in this corner. This corner right here is my catch-all. It's honestly not terrible. It's been worse. But I have projects I've finished, just haven't done anything with them yet. Vinyl rolls, Cricut blanks, stuff like that. This is something I've been bad about, not just in my craft room, but in my house in general, where things just end up in piles. Here's a few things I'm going to do to help this. First, make sure every item has a home in my craft room, which helps reduce piles since I will know exactly where things belong. I also decided to do weekly resets. This should help from piles getting too big. I decided for me, I'm going to do this Friday after lunch. It's just a good time. I'm actually going to write this down on my calendar. I have a better chance of sticking to it that way. Lastly, if it's something that hasn't been used in months, then I'm going to donate it or throw it away. Here's vinyl that was stored in that basket. I just never got to putting these away. I found a system that works best for rolled vinyl. I put a rubber band around each one, then I apply painter's tape. I write the brand and type of vinyl right on that tape. It's incredibly easy to forget what vinyl you have. There's so many different kinds. I'm putting some Cricut blanks, mugs, ornaments, that kind of thing in a basket to bring down to the basement. I store most of my blanks in storage bins in my storage room. This really helps clear up clutter in my craft room. I highly recommend this. If you don't have a lot of space, a garage, closet, or shed would be good. In this basket, I do have some heat transfer vinyl blanks. I'm actually working on some Cricut trackers for my paid Substack in my Etsy shop right now. One of them is going to be an inventory log for Cricut blanks. I forget what I actually have in my bins, so it'll be awesome to just take a quick look at a tracker and know exactly what's in there. I also had some scrap vinyl laying in that basket. A couple years ago, I finally found the perfect solution to scrap vinyl. I use a file storage box with a filing system. You can tell I have a type A personality. I store my vinyl in hanging folders. The first half of the box is adhesive vinyl, and the second half is iron-on or heat transfer vinyl. Each folder is labeled with a color, and I keep it as simple as possible. So like red, orange, yellow, and I put all the different shades of that one color in the same folder. I don't actually have these labeled with the type of vinyl. That's just too much work, but I do have some unique vinyl in their own folder, like Puff HTV, because I wouldn't want that getting confused with regular HTV. This does take up some space though, so if you don't have a lot of room, I'd recommend an accordion folder. That works really well. Target has some cute ones too. This is another spot where I kind of just throw things on, so I'm going to clear this out real quick. My 4-year-old daughter set this in my craft room for me to hot glue because these pieces came off, so I'm finally getting to this. I recently got the Cricut Explore 5. It came with the bundle, and I haven't had the chance to put away the different materials it came with, like cardstock, printable vinyl, adhesive vinyl, and iron-on. For sheets of vinyl and cardstock, I store these in my Dreambox container. I store the majority of my craft supplies in my Dreambox from Create Room. This is an amazing craft room storage solution, but it is a large investment. Without a Dreambox, another great solution for the 12 by 12 sheets is storage cases. You can find these on Amazon. You can stack these on shelves like a cube shelf, which makes it easy to keep it organized and visible. I have some cardstock for the Cricut Joy. I recently got the Cricut Joy 2, and this case is amazing for it. Not only does it keep dust out of the machine, but I also put everything I really need for my little Joy machine so I can just grab it and go. I also had some keychains I needed to put away. I keep these along with some small blanks in a container in my dream box. I actually should have put these keychain hooks in a different container since it's not really a blank, so I'll have to switch that. But some of the blanks I keep in here are small bookmarks, ornaments, and keychains. Once again, without a dream box, you can still find good storage solutions. Michael's has some great ones lately. If you search modular storage, a lot will come up. Even the Dollar Tree can be a good place to find bins. Next, I'm going to organize my rolled vinyl. I keep a lot of it in my dream box, but since I have so many rolls, I also have this rolling storage cart. I'm going to dump all of this out so I can get it organized. This was super overwhelming at first, but I do recommend when you're organizing to take everything out and put it in one big pile. After that, sort it all into their own categories. I'm going to take out the rolls of vinyl from my dream box as well. I feel like I do have to mention, normally when I'm making a craft project, it looks like a tornado went through, so I do have all craft stuff picked up before this video. I had shoved a little bit of vinyl in here. I wanted to take that out because I didn't want any of that in there. Like I said, I want everything to have a specific home. Look at all this vinyl. I've been doing Cricut for several years. I also get sent some, and of course I buy some, so it definitely just piles up. Like I said, I organize these into categories like solid adhesive vinyl, but not necessarily the brand. If it was more unique, like holographic vinyl, that would go in its own pile. There were some rolls of vinyl that I just had a whole bunch of, like the Tech Wrap Craft Bubble-Free Chrome Vinyl. I have a lot of those in different colors, so those all went in the same pile. The reason why I'm going through all of this is because the rolls of vinyl that were in the basket didn't really have a spot, so I needed to reorganize. My system before for the drawers was more by brand, like Tech Wrap Craft Adhesive Vinyl was in one drawer, Caesar Heat Transfer Vinyl was in another, and that just wasn't working as well. So instead for the drawers, I'm organizing them by type of vinyl with the brands mixed in. This needed a good cleaning before I put the vinyl back. It's hard to tell, but it was really dusty on the top. For the top two drawers, I'm doing adhesive vinyl that are just solid colors. You can tell pink is my favorite color. Most of these are Tech Wrap Craft. I get a lot of those in rolls. Oracal 651 is another favorite of mine, but those are typically 12 by 12 sheets that I buy them in. This drawer is more adhesive vinyl, but it's going to be the more unique kinds like shimmer, holographic, things like that. The next drawer down, I'm kind of following the same idea. I'm doing solid heat transfer vinyl, then the next drawer glitter. I'm going to move on to my dream box, then I'll finish up the drawers. The dream box has the best area to store rolled vinyl. I haven't counted how many I have in here, but I'd guess around 100 rolls or so. Depending on how you set up your dream box, you could probably fit even more. It's really versatile. In here, I'm doing vinyl that I have a lot of the same material. So this top part is metallic chrome HTV. I have several colors and I like grouping them all together in my dream box. I'd love to know how you all store your vinyl. I'm also curious if anyone remembers using the IKEA plastic bag dispensers to store rolled vinyl. Let me know if you still do that. I'll put a picture on the screen of one of mine when I first got started with Cricut. I think this was 2018, and it did work well. I also think the wall storage organizers are awesome. This one on the screen is from Walmart, and it's like $10. They save so much room, and you can hang them on a door or closet. I'm finally finishing up with the rolled vinyl. As you can see throughout the video, I'm doing this throughout several days. I did the unique heat transfer vinyl in the second to last one, and then cold color changing vinyl, and I'm not sure what else. It was kind of a range of different things. I got this corner cleaned out, so let's see if the Cricut Venture is going to fit. I did measure beforehand and it looked like it was going to, but sometimes my measurements are off. I was so happy because it fit perfectly. I don't know why I haven't tried this before. Now I think I'll use my Cricut Venture a lot more because I don't have to bring it up from the storage room and it's really heavy. So this is great. I haven't dusted my dream box in the 2 years that I've had it, so I definitely needed to do that quickly. Surprisingly, it wasn't too bad though. I have a tiny desk in this spot and I have 3 different machines underneath it and I'm tired of it being under there, so I want to find a space for those next. There's a great spot underneath the desk part of the dream box to store a lot of machines, so I'm going to try to rearrange these a little bit. That tall green machine is a tumbler press from Go To Craft. I actually use a different one more now, so I'm going to put that down in my storage room. I also have the Cricut hat press and mug press and 2 Cricut machines down here. This part of the shelf had a lot more dust. The way that Cricut is redesigning their new machines, like the Cricut Explorer 5 and the Joy 2, they have it open at the top a little bit. I personally think they're doing this to make the machines a little smaller. The Cricut Explorer 5 is smaller, but it doesn't have the top lid that pulls up, so I think that's how they're making it work. But I do wonder about dust and dog hair getting in the machine and if that's going to be a problem in the future, so we'll see. I haven't made sublimation tumblers in a while, but when I do, I use this HTV Ront tumbler press. It's so awesome, and I like that it's not too big. Have you guys been doing many sublimation projects? I was doing a ton for a while, and I just really haven't lately. On this top shelf, I was checking to see if I can fit the Cricut Joy 2 in its case along with the mug press and hat press, and they all fit. I also have a 40-ounce tumbler attachment for the tumbler press, and that I set upright and felt like it didn't fit that great, so later I just set it right on top of the machine. I have an HTV Ront phone case press. That's the purple machine. I'll be putting that in my storage room because I just don't use it very often. Next, I'm going to organize this heat press station that I have. This little shelf just has things thrown in it. And I've had it like that for several years now, and it drives me crazy, so I bought some little baskets to see if I can get this more organized. The only thing in this cart that doesn't have to do with the heat press is my scrap vinyl, but it's just the best place to store it. I put this cart together using things from IKEA. I bought that utility cart. Looking on their website, I don't see the white one, but they have a couple different colors. I also purchased a tabletop to put on top of the utility cart to give it a little more room. My husband glued the tabletop on top of the cart and it has not moved at all. I'm pretty sure he used Gorilla Glue. If you have a craft space or craft room, setting up a little heat station like this is really nice to have. I have so many things shoved underneath here and the side, so I definitely need to go through this. Once again, my favorite way to organize is just put things in categories. I recommend turning on a show or something to listen to. I had the Lindsay Clancy trial turn on the TV, so that's what I've been listening to all these days I've been organizing my craft room. These are the baskets I bought from Target. I really like these. They're sturdy and not too expensive. I just measured to make sure they weren't too tall and they were perfect. The first basket's a good size for my sublimation paper products. And these other ones, I put heat resistant gloves and lint rollers in one. I did Teflon sheets in another one. The last one, I did gloves and a mask, but I do end up changing it and I'll show you in just a little bit. I dusted the utility cart down. When I was done with that, I moved it so I could vacuum underneath it. What's nice about the utility cart, even with 2 heavy machines on it, it's really easy to roll it out of the way. I did not expect this to make that big of a difference, but it looks so much better. And honestly, I'm excited to be able to craft now because it's going to be so easy to find whatever I need. Now, of course, I need to make basket labels with my Cricut. I haven't looked through my heat transfer vinyl blanks in a while, so I'm just going to get those organized. I think I kept most of the things. Since I have the space on the cart, I like to keep these in my craft room since most of it fits well in this basket and I don't have to go down to my storage room. I have just a few sublimation blanks in here as well. I like to have a few t-shirts that I test material on, especially unique things like Puff HTV. So those are these t-shirts here. I'm just putting them in a Ziploc bag so that I know that that's what those are. These are blanks that are going down in totes in my storage room. I like to label these tumbler boxes so I know exactly what's in them. I completely forget. Otherwise, I put the brand, size, and what type of tumbler it is. These are both snow globe tumblers. I realized later I had some heat transfer project supplies in my dream box, so I am going to swap those into this bin. That's going to be so nice to just have everything in one spot. These little white plastic sheets are shrink wrap for sublimation oven projects. Had them in 2 different spots, so now they're all going to be in this white basket. I also had a large roll of butcher paper that I'm just going to place in the middle. This craft paper was underneath my utility cart, so I put it in my Cricut Venture stand. There's a couple projects I've made with that. I have this little IKEA desk next to my dream box since this is also my office. Another recommendation, these clear organizers are amazing. So it keeps it from being like a junk drawer and it's all organized. I can find everything really quickly. I have cords and hard drives in these photo cases. As you can see, bigger cords are just shoved in the back, but that works really well also. I have my printer paper on the bottom. I also have this gold file holder. I keep file folders in it. I found some really cute ones at Target. I prefer this over just throwing papers in a drawer. It keeps me really organized. I am going to dust the other side of my dream box. I realized I forgot to dust the crown that's on top of my dream box. I should have done that before I did any of the cleaning, so I'm just going to leave it how it is. These are my cheat sheets that I have in my Etsy store. As a Cricut crafter for like 8 years, I still reference these all the time. I decided to hole punch these and put them in a ring binder. I am going to hang it on my dream box. That way when I'm crafting, I could quickly just go over and flip through them. I have some beads I bought for my last project that I need to find a space for. I'm going to remove the divider from this one since I don't need it and place it in the other one. I keep bringing up my dream box, but that's how I store most of my craft supplies. I love how they have dividers for these containers. It makes it so easy to organize. When I get new craft supplies in, a lot of times I'm rearranging these bins to make it work. I have no idea why I thought all this paracord was going to fit in that tiny container. It didn't. Also, the ends, all of the string was coming out, so I'm not sure how to prevent that. I think I'll have to tie them off when I've already used one. I'm grabbing a different bin. A lot of these are heat transfer vinyl blanks, so I'm going to put those in the basket. I also need to look for another divider. I know that I have some, of course, down in my storage room. I actually need to go through my storage room and organize all my things too. Will definitely be another time, hopefully soon, but this project took me so long. That's another thing I recommend if you are going to tackle your craft room. You don't have to do it all in one day. I did was just a couple hours each day, but I did consistently do it every day until it was done. That way it didn't drag out forever. Thrifted this basket earlier in the year. I actually did a Cricut video on it. Since things have been piled up, I haven't been using it. It's for upcoming projects. I'll be crafting with this Vinyl and Tool Prismic Pop heat transfer vinyl, so I'm going to put it in the basket. I'm getting so close to being done. This is my last little area, and I'll show you a final look at the end. My black ink is almost completely out on my inkjet printer, so I'm going to replace that quick. I've had this printer for years. It works really well. It fits thicker cardstock, which is nice for printable vinyl, but it is really large. Of course, I have some more IKEA furniture. All of this in the screen is from IKEA, but it works really well to set it on this little table. Going to do some more cleaning and dusting quick. We moved into this house 5 years ago. At that time frame, I feel like white was just really in. White furniture and light colored walls. A lot of furniture in my craft room and in my house is white. I like it some, but I feel like it's just not as cozy, so I'm trying to add some things to make the space a little cozier. I found things like lamps, blankets, rugs, weaved baskets, pillows, plants, things like that all seem to warm it up, but it's definitely a work in progress for me and it gets expensive. In this drawer, I have mainly infusible ink. One of them is printable vinyl. I just have so much of that and it doesn't all fit in my dream box. I did find some vinyl samples that I probably just shoved in there, so I put those in my containers in my dream box. Now I need to work on the other side. I wasn't going to do it, but I'm like, if I'm doing my entire craft room, I just need to get it done. This top shelf is all transfer tape. I do have a favorite that I always use. It's the Caesar transfer tape. But I have some other brands in here that I'm looking through. Some of it I'm just going to recycle, and some of it I'm going to keep. On the bottom shelf, I have some organizational items, and then I have more infusible ink. I had cleared out a drawer, so I had room for the rest of the infusible ink, which was awesome. On this bottom drawer, I had scrap infusible ink. It's been down there for so long and I've never used it. Honestly, I think you want it to be wrapped up in the box or the packaging, so I decided I'm just going to toss it. I haven't made an infusible ink project in so long. Does anybody else use that still? I do think it's pretty fun. I just use sublimation a little more. This bottom drawer is still going to be a scrap drawer, but just for transfer tape. I have this cord organizer, which I just love. It's so dusty, so I'll clean that. I've just been dusting like crazy. I like this because I have a lot of cords and it hides it and makes it look a little bit nicer. I think this time of year is a really great time to organize your craft room because we're just getting into the holiday season with fall, Thanksgiving, Christmas coming up. I think most crafters would agree that that is our really busy time, especially if you sell projects. I'm always making lots of gifts and lots of videos during that time. I'm really excited that I'm going to have everything so organized. I think it'll make it all a little more manageable. I have these projects. I've made all but one of them. I want to put some of them on my wall, probably above that little office desk that I have. I think I'm going to make my husband do it. I'm going to finish this up with vacuuming, especially with all that dust that I stirred around. I do have a walking pad in here. I use it sometimes when I'm on my computer, but it does get in the way. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. I might try to put it underneath that little desk and maybe it'll be out of the way a little more. I am finally done. Let's do a quick little scan of the room. I am extremely happy that I made my Cricut Venture fit in here. Even though it's tucked in the corner, I can easily get it out because the dream box folds in. I have it on the Cricut Venture stand, so it has wheels. I have enough room, I can pull that out of there, and I just love it. Here's a quick look at all the vinyl rolls organized. Here's the heat press station. It looks so much better. Let me know in the comments what you thought of this video. Also, let us know in the comments how you organize your craft room, because I think it will help a lot of others out. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and I would love it if you subscribed if you're new to my channel so you don't miss some really exciting videos coming up.